Welcome back on Gaming, this is Devin, and all the fanboys are freaking out, Xbox, PlayStation, after the reviews came out for Stellar Blade. I guess a lot of Xbox fanboys were upset that PlayStation fanboys were basically talking about how garbage the game was because of the review scores, the critical review scores, and, now Xbox fanboys are now going after the PlayStation ones because Stellar Blade basically got the same critical review score as Starfield. Actually, Starfield has an 83, while Stellar Blade has an 82 rate at this moment. So, yeah, they're going back and forth with each other on this, saying which one's better, this, that, and the other. But, of course, like I said, this is just critical. But there's clearly a better game out of both of these here. So just gonna go ahead, discuss it, and let's talk. So before we get deep into it, for myself, I've always loved PlayStation, love collecting trophies, have a PlayStation 5. But on the other hand, I do have an Xbox Series X, which I love playing 360 games. I love that generation of games, so I really do enjoy my Xbox Series X as well. And for myself, I don't really see myself as a fanboy of either console in that way, but I can definitely understand these Xbox Starfield people and then Stellar Blade PlayStation people. But yeah, like I said earlier, there is a better game out of both of them. So let's go ahead and first look at Starfield. So for Starfield, the critical review score is an 83, which, of course, that's what it is, 83. And then we have a user score of 6.9, which, if you want to go ahead and look at that, because a lot of people like to look at user review scores more than critical, just because they're critics. But for the user score, I understand that, there's a lot of people that do review bombs, a lot of zeros, but on the other hand, there's probably a lot of 10s on there as well. So looking at that, I mean, it's 83 critically, and then for the user score, I would say probably like a 7. Then, before we get to Stellar Blade, actually, I want to go ahead and bring up the Xbox tax, because all the Xbox people love talking about the Xbox tax. Like during Game of the Year, because, Xbox games don't get nominated for Game of the Year or win them. But the reason why I bring that up is that there's a tax on Stellar Blade. And so if we go ahead and look at the Stellar Blade critical score, that's an 82 rate at this moment. But if you go ahead and look at a fair amount of the reviews for that game, they mainly talk about how bad the character is, or that's an issue with the game, is the character. And the reason why I bring up tax is because Stellar Blade has a tax. I think the sexy tax. And that's just because, all these reviews, these critics are all hating on how the character looks. And of course, there's a big thing about how she looks in that, the skin tight, this, that, and the other. I'm pretty sure, if she looked a little bit more masculine, that would probably be a 90 for critics. But yeah, I mean, a lot of critics, though, are also comparing a Stellar Blade to Nier, which was a 90% mainly, from what I saw. But I'm willing to bet that for that game, of course, it's probably going to have an 82 for the critical score, but it's more than likely going to have I would say probably an 8.7 to a 9 for the user score. So that user score is probably going to be higher than Starfield. And then if we were to go ahead and look at the sexy tax, that critical score is going to be higher with Stellar Blade as well. So looking at both of these games, the clear winner, or the higher score, I would say, would be Stellar Blade. It's higher than Starfield. But then, of course, just want to finish this off here, is that, of course, if you do not want to play Stellar Blade, if you do not want to play Stellar Blade, of course you don't have to. You can always go ahead, go play Starfield, if you're unhappy with that. I mean, you can easily go ahead, play Starfield right now, but then, of course, looking at the player count for Starfield, it doesn't really look like people are playing it anyway, so I don't know. You can always maybe play Fallout 4. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll We'll see you soon. Bye.
It's a trap.